Uh-oh. Uh-oh, hold on. I misclicked. There we go. There I am. I misclicked. Sorry about that. A little delayed, aren't I? Oh well. I think I'm good, right? Alright, everyone. So, welcome. Welcome to Hate Lie. Today is December 11th, 2014. And this is the very first podcast that I have done in over a month. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The last opportunity that I had to do a podcast for you guys was way back in the first week of November. Now, a ton of stuff has literally happened since then. Since then. I just had dinner, so excuse me. Whether it was gameplay, whether it was my website, whether it was changing where I'm streaming, there's been a ton of changes that have happened since the past month, all right? And for some of you might not even have been around, right? And you come back and you're like, what the hell happened? So you're telling me that Phil left Twitch, the website's gone, you know, what is going on, right? And, hold on a second, everybody. I know what's going on here. There we go. That's what's going on. I've been having this problem. It's fine now. It should be fine now. If the stream was choppy or looked terrible, it should look better now. I apologize for that. It should be fixing itself right now. What's been happening is my stupid OBS software opens up by itself while I'm trying to stream with XSplit, and it screws everything up. And it happened to me once this past week when I was playing Pokemon, and it just happened again. But it should be fine now. So give it a few seconds here to settle, and the podcast should be fine. I apologize if you were watching on stream and it was choppy. If you were watching on YouTube, it probably also was desynced. The audio should be synced now. Okay? Alright, everyone. So, Hate Live. First one in a month. So many changes have happened. Alright? The purpose of what I want to do here for you guys is I want to explain to you exactly what's been going on. I want to get everyone up to speed in one big central place, okay? One central place where you can tell people, hey, go here and watch this, because this is what Phil explains, what everything that's been happening, whether it's the changes with the website, the changes with the streaming, the changes with everything going on, the drama that's been going on that I've been ignoring, that I'll now address some of it just to get it off the table, all the games I've been playing. This is the video, this is the podcast that you guys need to watch, okay? So if you're in the right place, if you're here, I want to hear all about Phil. I want to get caught up with Phil. I want to know what's going on with Phil. I also want to know what's going on with his content in the future, what's going to happen with the Christmas stuff, the end of year stuff, what's going to come in the new year. You're in the right place. If you're here to see, like, super twinks jerking off on stream, this is the wrong place. So you want to go somewhere else, I don't know, chat roulette or something to go see that. This is not going to be that place, okay? So first of all, before we even get started, I want to say happy holidays to everyone, because we are in the midst of the holiday season. We just had Thanksgiving a couple weeks back. I hope everyone had a great one. I haven't really had a chance to talk to you guys since then. And coming up, holy crap, I mean, in less than 2 weeks, we've got Christmas, right? 2 weeks from today, actually, is Christmas. Wow, it blows your mind. Like, time flies. I feel like I just moved. I feel like I'm still living in Connecticut in the process of moving to Washington. It seems like it was yesterday, and here we are. It's the end of the year. Whoa, time really seriously flies, okay? So, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are, in December, and it's time. It's time to really kind of reflect and have fun holiday stuff going on with everyone. I know right now a lot of people are probably running around shopping, holiday shopping, and getting things together and getting final plans finalized for what you're going to be doing on Christmas Day and stuff like that. Personally, I am too. My parents are coming to visit that Christmas week, and right now I'm trying to finalize plans. Where we're going to go to dinner Christmas Eve, and what are we doing here and then. So it's kind of busy and hectic for everyone, okay? Let's have a fun stream today. Rather than focusing on all the stress and everything going around, let's talk, let's catch up with everything so that we all are on the same page, all right? So the first thing I want to do is talk about what I've been doing for the past month, okay? I myself have not done any podcasts. I have not done any kind of, Ask the King, nothing. All I've been doing is gameplay and basically the weekend preview, and every once in a while I have a chance to sneak a vlog in here or there, whether it was putting up my Christmas tree, which I did right after Thanksgiving, whether it was DSP Tries It, which, yes, I actually have been consistently able to post one episode of DSP Tries It a week, so at least in that regard, it's been good. And I've had a lot of fun doing it. Now, admittedly, I'm a little beat because I've been playing so many games and I've been juggling between the games that I haven't had a chance to really play a lot of any one particular game that I maybe wanted to focus on. For example, Dragon Age Inquisition, I've barely scratched the surface of the game. People are saying maybe I'm 10%, 15% through the game. And I really want to get deeper into that game, but it seems like that's a game that has so much content. I'm going to be playing that until, the end of January, if not longer. That's fine. But at the same time, I know there's people who aren't used to that. When it comes to me and doing playthroughs, typically I finish a game within a week to 2 weeks tops. And for you to be waiting this long for me to be playing some of the games that you've been waiting to see me play, I understand. Just today, after 3 weeks of owning the game, I finally started WWE 2K15 Showcase Mode. That's because I've been so busy juggling other games, I haven't gotten a chance to play it. I was so busy with the 16-hour-long career mode, right? So I apologize for that, but I warned you guys, at least I hope I forewarned you guys enough that you knew what was happening. Okay, so that you knew when this was coming that Phil was not going to be playing every game from start to finish within a week. There was going to be these gaps, and I'm doing my best now to juggle what I have remaining. What do I have remaining? Well, Dragon Age Inquisition, the WWE 2K15, my showcase mode now, which I'm in the middle of the HBK versus Triple H plot line. It looks like within another stream I'll beat that and move on to the CM Punk versus John Cena plot line, and probably within one more stream I'll have completed that. And we'll be done with the story-based content of WWE 2K15. I'm also in the middle of Pokemon Omega Ruby, which I am, surprisingly enough, very much enjoying. I think that Pokemon is actually a more calming experience than everything else. It's relaxing, it's fun, you catch cute little Pokemon, you're using abilities to counter each other, there's a fun, quirky story. I'm liking it, but admittedly, it's for a niche audience. And what I mean by that is there are a group of people who wanted to see me play, Pokemon. It's not a giant group of people. It's a group of people who are very dedicated to Pokemon. They love the game. They're having. By the way, the streams for Pokemon have been some of the most enjoyable streams I've ever done since I live streamed on the internet. I go on there, people are talking about Pokemon in the stream chat. They're having fun. They're discussing strategies. They're discussing the collection of Pokemon that they're doing in their own games. It's a great experience. If you like Pokemon, you definitely want to jump on one of those Pokemon streams because the chat, everything is fun. Okay. Excuse me. So, that's what I've been doing. I've just been crazy busy with all of that. And I know that you guys have been a little... Some people have expressed a lot of sadness because they're like, listen, you're not on Twitch anymore, so we don't have that daily Twitch chat. You don't have the website anymore, so we don't have any website interaction. And I don't particularly like Twitter. Not me, I'm saying hypothetical. Someone might say they don't particularly like Twitter. So I don't have a lot of daily contact with Phil anymore. Every once in a while, I check out a playthrough and that's it. I just want to let you guys know I didn't go anywhere. Daily on Twitter, @TheyCallMeDSP. I'm still tweeting with fans. I'm still having conversations. I still daily on the streams have an active stream chat. Right now we have about 70 people actively talking in the stream chat right now all about stuff that I'm talking about right now on the stream. And a lot of people have said this, oh, the new stream chat sucks. The new stream chat is just, it's IRC. That's ancient. It's been around from the 90s. We like the Twitch one way better. You guys, seriously, you don't even know what you're saying, because if you didn't knew the truth, Twitch chat, the chat that used to be on Twitch TV, that I used to use, is IRC. They're the one and the same. The difference is that Twitch puts like a GUI over it, a nice facade. They paint the walls and they put little sparklies to make it look nice, but the same functionality exists on IRC. In fact, we have better control over the stream chat on IRC. We've prevented that. People can't just spam shit all over the place and make it a nasty place. It's a more controllable environment. But I find that people are afraid because, oh, I heard IRC's old and it's archaic. It's better. It's actually better than Twitch chat. You just have to give it a chance. So I urge you, if you've been I don't want to attend the streams because there's no chat anymore. There's upwards of 50 to 100 people every stream that are here that can talk. They're just afraid to use IRC, all right? So how do you do it? thekingofhate.com/stream. Whenever I'm streaming, that's where you can find the stream, and that's where the chat is. Now, if you're more savvy to IRC, you can use a chat client like MIRC. I think there's one called XChat. There's a bunch of them that are all free, and you can use, and those are even better. You can color the stuff yourself, and you can format it yourself if you mess around with it. So it's actually better, and I hope that you guys will give it a chance. And I want you to understand that this is not the end-all, be-all of me with streaming. In fact, right now, after the website launches, which will be soon, I just want to make that everyone know because we're going to talk about that, the status of the website. I'm going to do you a brief walkthrough of the new website, thekingofhate.com, in just a moment. But once the website is launched and we're using it and it's functional, then the next focus is Stream Chat. And Onyx, I want to give a shout out to the mighty Onyx, who has been the person who reprogrammed the entire website after it was basically hijacked and destroyed about a month ago. He redesigned the whole homepage. He put in search engines. The thing is freaking awesome. And you guys are going to see it in a moment. But he's now his next project is going to be designing a chat client similar to, it'll look like Twitch. It'll be functional like Twitch. It'll integrate with stuff. So that's the next thing. Right now what we're doing with the chat is good, but it's hopefully temporary. Hopefully we can get something better and easier to use, but for now it works. The chat works, it's fine, it's functional, and I hope that you guys will check it out, okay? I hope that all the things that I've just told you will dissuade a little bit of your fears. And a lot of people, oh, I don't want to use IRC. It's not bad. In fact, it's better than Twitch was, okay? Let's talk a little bit about the website. What happened to the website? Because a lot of people are so confused about what happened to the website and why is the website down? Why has it been down for a month? It's very simple. I'm going to put it to you guys in a nutshell. Just explanation of what happened, and then I'm going to show you the new site, okay? TheKingofHate.com has always been a fan site. It was always run by fans and or people who did it out of the kindness of their own heart. Until earlier this year. Earlier this year, I purchased the website from the previous owners because they basically became disinterested. They weren't interested in my content anymore. They weren't following me, and they weren't really making any money or anything off the site, and they wanted to, basically, I said, I want control of it. It's my site. I should control it, all right? But the problem was, when I bought the site, I should have, and admittedly now in retrospect, I admit this, I should have wiped the slate clean. Meaning I should have said, okay, thanks to everyone who's worked on the site for these years when it was a fan site, but now it's a more professional site. I own it. I want to redo the site so that there's moderators who are more invested in my content and are going to make sure that people are having positive, active discussions and all kinds of fun stuff for the viewers and the people who really primarily should be using the site. Instead, what happened was a lot of the people who were moderators on that website were disenfranchised. There were people who, for 4 or 5 years, used to be a viewer of mine, hadn't watched my content in years. The only reason they were even actively moderators on the site was because they were using the site as kind of their own thing. Oh, I'm going to go chat in the anime forums, and I like to chat with my friends in this forum, and it had nothing to do with my content. When it came down to it and you looked at the primary usage of the site, 99% was other topics, and then like 1% people would go in there to talk a little bit about my content. Unfortunately, what ended up happening over the course of the year was a lot of the stuff became negative. There were dicks going on there, trolling and stuff, and not to say that the moderators were not doing a decent job, because for the most part, they were doing a very decent job of moderating. But you have to understand something when you have a website that's like that. It was now a website that I owned, but it had volunteer moderators who didn't watch my content and had no vested interest in me anymore. So really, they had no responsibility. If I could not go there and say, why are there people trolling me in this thread? Because guess what? No one there really cares. They're there for their own reasons. They're not there to watch my content, right? So they don't care if there's someone in there trolling, insulting me, insulting my girlfriend, saying slanderous stuff, and that was happening on a daily basis on the website. And it finally came down to the point where I started manually going on there, and I shouldn't have. This is where I think I overstepped my bounds. I should have just said, it is what it is. If the website's going to be like that, it's going to be like that, unless I actually find people who are more invested in my content and want to sit there and actively moderate. But I was lazy, and I was too busy with my move this year. You know, I was so busy moving to Washington or whatever, I just let it slide. And eventually it reached a boiling point where I would go to the website daily. There'd be people basically trolling the shit out of me and being very negative about me and my content, to the point where there was almost never any positivity about myself and my content on that website. And I said, I don't want it like this. I want it to be positive. And I would find the biggest offenders and I would ban them. And then, of course, the forum moderators then came out of there and said, well, why are you doing that? Because that's our job and we don't agree with you banning people. And we had a disagreement back and forth. And after a couple months of us basically disagreeing the hell about how the website should be run, the forum moderators decided to leave. And I said, fine, you know what? If you're leaving, you're leaving. Thanks for helping. Keep in mind that these are people that volunteered to do this years ago. It wasn't me forcing anyone's hand or twisting anyone's hand. And I even told them multiple times in the past year, this is the God's honest truth. You used to be able to find the post. I posted it for the forum moderator saying, if you guys don't like my content anymore and you don't want to actively moderate and make sure that the website is a positive atmosphere, you can leave, and no hard feelings. I'm not going to be a dick and talk shit about you and say that you quit the website or whatever. You can leave, and I will try to find other people to take up the reins for you. Of course, no one wanted to leave because they were using the website as their personal hangout rather than my fan site, which is ultimately what the site was for. So eventually they decided to leave. I said, fine. Now, that wouldn't have been a problem. If they had all left and, you know, okay, so we have no moderators for a couple weeks, I'll find new moderators. I'll be honest with you guys. What I actually was going to do, quite honestly, God's honest truth, was going to turn the website probably off for about a week. I was going to redesign some of the site myself. I wanted to make some of the forums and things shift around a little bit. Okay, have more of a focus on my content in my year-end series. And I was going to find new moderators who wanted to jump in and do a little more active job of positively moderating the website. Unfortunately, that never happened because guess what happened? Well, one or two of the moderators were bad apples. They basically had negative feelings towards me, regardless of the fact that I had paid $3,000 out of my pocket to keep this website running earlier this year. They felt it as like a personal offense that I wanted to run my fan site the way that I wanted to run it, rather than the way that they could run it for their own personal benefit. Basically, they were a bunch of self-entitled little brats, honestly. And it's only one or two people. I want to make that clear. It was not by far, it was not all of the forum moderators. It was one or two of them took it upon themselves to find a site exploit to spam porn all over my website. They deleted threads, they created hentai threads, they changed everyone's profile pictures, there was porn everywhere, it was disgusting. And basically at that point, I had to go into panic mode, and luckily Onyx, who I said is working on the new site, had already been working on the site, so he found a back doorway in for us to password protect the site so that we could shut everyone out besides us, and then we could clean up the mess. By the time that all the smoke had cleared, the website was a fucking mess, and I was like, this is terrible, because this was something that was a community area for people to post up things like funniest moments of the year, to vote on my year-end series, and all that was destroyed by a bunch of, well, I don't want to say a bunch, a couple, only one or two incredibly immature, selfish individuals who proved that day that they did not care about me, my content, or anyone in the community but themselves, because they single-handedly destroyed a website that the entire community was using. Okay? So that's what happened with the website. And since then, the website's been down. We shut it down completely. And I said, well, what I'm going to do is we're going to take this opportunity to completely start from scratch, redesign it. The good news is the new website is going to be fully functional. It's going to have more functions than ever before. You guys are going to love it because I'm going to show you in a second. You can now find all of my content forever. Since the first videos I ever posted on YouTube, you'll be able to find them in a search engine rather than rely on YouTube, which is a stinking pile of shit. You try to search for something on YouTube, you never get what you want. This will actually go through all of my content and find those playthroughs and vlogs or whatever you're looking for. Okay? And there's other good functionality things too. The bad news is the old stuff from the old website, I have it archived, but there's no way to transfer it over. So I know there were running threads, there was the funniest moments. None of that, unfortunately, can be transferred over to the new site because we've completely started from scratch. It's going to be a new forum software and everything. So there's good and bad, okay? The bottom line is this website could probably launch this week if I wanted it to, but I don't have time. I'm so busy with game playthroughs right now that I just don't have time to focus on it and reprogram the whole site with all the forums and format them the way I want. I'm going to make an honest effort that by January of 2015, this website is back up and running. Daily, I'm using it as a format so you know where to go to see, gee, what's Phil's content that's coming up in the next week? Gee, can I search for playthroughs here? Can I find his stream here? I want that to be the central place you go. Okay, so right now, without further ado, what we're going to do, I'm going to walk over to the computer, and I'm going to do a very brief walkthrough of some of the cool new website and the improvements that it's going to have so that you understand what's coming, okay? All right, so let's actually jump over here. Where did I put it? That's not it. That's it. Okay, hold on. I'm going to head over to the PC here. Hold on. Oh boy, hold on, my microphone's caught. There it is. Alright, so what you're seeing here is going to be the new homepage of thekingofhate.com. Now keep in mind this is the rough format. It could change. We could definitely change all the font and everything. It could definitely be improved. This is just the primary thing. What you're going to have dailies, you're going to have the pictures like I used to have right here with the text dialogue and probably a link to the current playthrough playlist right there. Okay, here's going to be my new schedule. You're going to have your streaming schedule and upload schedule separated like it used to be. As you can see here, my new Twitter feed is going to be right there, right on the home page. You're going to have links to the Twitter. You're going to have the most recently played playlist right here. What you're not seeing here yet is the stream. We are going to have the stream implemented here as well, but since we already have that on its own page, we decided not to stick that in here yet, but I just wanted to show you that. The forums aren't ready to show you yet. Like I said, I haven't even touched them, okay? But the cool thing... the cool improvements, number one, this playlist area. This is going to be a huge help for you guys, especially those of you who are longtime viewers and you want to go watch a classic playthrough from years ago that you never got to see. Or for those of you who maybe are newcomers and you're like, man, I heard that Phil played this game 4 years ago, but I can't find the damn thing. Where is it? So here's a perfect example. Maybe someone started watching my Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric playthrough. They're like, man, I wonder if Phil ever played Sonic Colors. She's typing here, Sonic Colors. Sonic Colors playthrough. Really? And you click on it, and it's going to bring you right to YouTube, right to the playlist. As you can see, Sonic Colors playthrough with all the videos ready to go. So you can go ahead and watch that whole playthrough if you want, okay? Let's go back to the website. But what if, okay, well, I don't remember that name of the Sonic game. Let's just search for Sonic. Look at this. Mario and Sonic at the 2012 Olympic Games. Mario and Sonic at the Sochi Winter Olympics. Sonic 4 Episode 1, Sonic 4 Episode 2 Co-op, Sonic Boom, Sonic Colors, and Sonic Generations. You literally see every Sonic game that I've ever played. And by the way, this includes all of my gameplay channels. So here's a perfect example. Oh man, I heard that Heavy Rain is Phil's best playthrough ever. Look at this. Heavy Rain, Alternate Choices gameplay, the Taxidermist DLC with the Chainsaw to the Balls famous scene, the Heavy Rain HD playthrough. Look at this. And it's all immediately there for you. You don't have to search YouTube ever again. You don't have to use their horrendous fucking bullshit to try to find my content. I'm so tired of people telling me, Phil, I went to go find your playthrough today, I typed in DSP blah blah blah, and all I got was unrelated crap. I got a fucking PewDiePie video, I got a bunch of hater videos, and I didn't get any of your gameplay in the search results. No more. Those days are over. This website is going to completely eliminate the need for you to have to search for anything on YouTube when it comes to me or my content. Okay? And as you can also see, you're going to be able to do alphabetically, so you can actually see all of my stuff from A to Z. See, it brings this up and you can click it A to Z. I'll just give you an example. Let's click on W. Look at this. All my WWE gameplay ever. Look at that. Wanted Weapons of Fate. You know how old that playthrough is? 2009. There it is. There it is. Chronologically. Of course, this is doing W chronologically. I think if you hit all, it'll show you all chronologically. But look at this. It's an incredible tool. It is an absolutely incredible tool. And Onyx did an amazing job getting this together. No longer will you have to sift through YouTube search. We have to sift through forum posts. It's all going to be at a glance for you guys. Okay? Took a lot of work and effort. And I want to thank Onyx again. You know, he put so much time and effort into this to make it work, and I'm very appreciative of that because, you know, it's so frustrating. Things have changed back in 2009, 2010, 2011 when YouTube was such a different thing, and now it's so crappily different. You know, a lot of people would say, oh, it improved. No, it didn't. It got for the worse just to promote the top people. It's so hard for a little guy to actually get his stuff found, right? Just one final thing just to show you. It's Christmas. Immediately, look, DSP sings the Christmas 2013 special, Saints Row 4, the tree lighting stuff, Christmas special, right? Now, keep in mind this is not foolproof. And what I mean by that is you notice something. Okay, I don't see Phil's vlogs from this year. That's because they're not included yet. As you can see, this is searching the Dark Side Phil channel and the DSP Gaming channel. What our goal is to add the other channels, including the King of Hate Vlogs, the King of Hate HD. Eventually, I'd like to get Red Dead DSP. And that Final Fantasy channel that I had in there as well, so that way you can literally find all of my content ever. But for now, I think this is a good start. And then last but not least, what I want to do is jump over here to this series. For a lot of people who say, gee, I wonder what it is that Phil does on a consistent basis other than just play games. Here on the series page, you're going to have a brief explanation of all of my series, as you can see, that are basically regular series. Whether it's my reviews, the Week in Preview that I do weekly, DSP Tries It, my Hate Life podcast, Ask the King. And coming up shortly in 2015, I have a few new ones I'm going to be starting up. Okay? So this website, ideally, is going to be the go-to place for you to find my content. And that's really what I want. It's one central place everyone can go, not having to deal with YouTube bullshit. Okay? Alright, so hold on a second, because I actually did not rotate my monitor so I could see it. Okay. All right, so here we go. All right, there we go. So there you go. That's what the website's going to be. Okay, and visually, I want you to understand that Onyx is not a web designer. He is a programmer. So visually, we can improve it over time. But I think that for the information that you have there, it looks really great. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. So that's the forum that's coming shortly. I'll have more information about that for you guys soon. In fact, basically what I need to do is just sit down with Onyx and have like an hour or so to walk through it with him, understand how I can update everything, and then just do an initial design on the forums. And that's it. Then I can start getting moderators and stuff signed up, and we can get everything going again. I just need the time to do it, and I have not had the time to do it recently. Okay, maybe this next week. We'll have to see. Okay, now's the time where very briefly I'm going to go through some of the ridiculous things that people have said about me in the past month. And this might actually end up being an ongoing segment here on Hate Live, where I just talk about ridiculous drama queens, self-entitled brats, and the things that they say about me to try to make me look bad. So I might actually think about a name for this segment, because what I think I will do for about once a month, I'll address it, tell you how stupid the shit is that people say, and that way people will know how much bullshit is talked about me, and they'll know that they don't need to listen to any of that crap. As you guys know, the past month, I have not paid attention at all. There's been no forums, so I haven't been on forums listening to any crap, right? Twitter, I've completely ignored. I've only been reading people who have positive things and fun things to say to me, and I'm ignoring all the nonsense and the bullshit, and I haven't got myself involved in any of this drama. But because of that, there's been an overabundance of people this past month who've taken it upon themselves. Oh, Phil's only going to play games. He's not going to address anything. Now's our chance. We'll make up a bunch of shit about it, right? So let's just talk some of the most ludicrous things that I heard this month. You'll get a kick out of this segment. The first one. Oh, my God. This is so hilarious. This is pretty fucking hilarious, okay? In regards to Twitch TV, all right? The things that people have said about why I left Twitch TV are some of the most ludicrous things I've ever heard. People saying I got kicked off of Twitch TV and banned. Twitch, didn't want me on there anymore because they thought I was a racist. I've heard some of the most ridiculous things, and people have been like creating fake logs and fake emails and stuff to try to prove this stuff, which is so ludicrous, all right? Let me put it to you this way. Twitch TV was an experiment of mine. I live streamed there for about a year and a half. During the year and a half that I live streamed at Twitch TV, I unfortunately saw a huge negative trend with the website, and let me explain what I mean. When I first went there, they seemed to be all about the streamers, all about the gamers and the games. They were very involved. If you had an issue with Twitch TV, you could tweet them, and immediately within, say, 25 to 30 minutes, you could get an answer. If you emailed them right away, you would get a response, and they were very responsive. They were making positive improvements to the website so that the quality of streams was improved, and everything about it was about, again, the content of the site was the focus. All right. When I became a partner on Twitch TV, they had a partner program where you run ads. And what I noticed is that when I ran a certain amount of ads during a certain period of time, and when I had a certain amount of viewers, I made a certain amount of money. It wasn't a lot of money, and I've said this since day one. When I started live streaming last year, it was fan service for you guys. It was never anything for my benefit. It was for your benefit purely. Okay? I knew that if I kept my content on YouTube, I would have made more money than when I went to Twitch. That anyone who was watching my content on Twitch, I was barely getting anything out of it. It was for you guys to have live interaction with me because you like that. Okay? So I noticed an appalling trend over the past year to year and a half, and a lot of you wouldn't know this because especially if you're not part of the partner program, you don't get Twitch emails, you don't get all the insider info that they send us, and you don't know what's going on when it comes to advertisements and stuff. The bottom line is this. In the past year and a half, Twitch TV ad revenues have plummeted. All right, let me give you an example. Last year, if I was doing a stream on Twitch TV and it had 1,000 people watching the stream, like, for on average, 1,000 people watching gameplay, and I maybe took 3 to 4 breaks, I would make a certain amount of money. And that was in, say, April of 2013, okay? Right now, if I was on Twitch TV and I was 1,000 people watching and I ran the exact same amount of ads, I made about 1/4 as much as I made the year before. What the fuck kind of business model is that? You might say to yourself, how is that profitable? That their ads have decreased by, 300-400% profit in a year. And the answer is this. Because they don't care about ads anymore. What they care about is shilling the fuck out of things on their website and turning it into a e-commerce website where you're constantly buying things and donating and doing that kind of stuff rather than actually there for content. And let me give you my examples here, all right? In the past 6 months, Twitch TV has decided to do several different things. Number one, they gave the ability that if you have a paid subscriber base, only they can see your channel in HD. Everyone else sees it at low quality. What's the purpose of that exactly? Besides trying to make more money, instead of the quality of the content, you're caring about making more money, right? I just got an email about a month ago. Was it, oh, the site quality is improving? Oh, by the way, when a League of Legends tournament is on our website, the whole website won't crash? No, it was, oh, guess what? We paired up with this company. Now you can sell t-shirts. So if you ever wanted to make t-shirts for your streams, you can now go through them and you could constantly shill t-shirts on your stream. Oh, by the way, just what I told you when Amazon bought out Twitch, they've now decided to integrate Amazon sales into Twitch. So if you're watching someone on Twitch stream play Call of Duty Advanced Warfare and they say, oh, by the way, guys, if you like this game, buy it. Here's a link. And it pops up and completely distracts all the content. If you click that link and you buy the game, they get a cut. So that's great, right? Those are money-making ventures. The problem is none of that is for the user, and none of that is for the gameplay. None of that is for anything but to make Twitch and the streamers money. And I'm sorry, you guys know me. I'm the kind of guy, the gameplay is first. I want to do an unadulterated playthrough of a game. I don't want to be stopping every 5 seconds to say, oh, this was brought to you by this, and I want to shill this, and this, and this, and this. Oh, and by the way, now just imagine if every stream that I did, I talked for 5 minutes and then I said, oh, by the way, you got to buy stuff now. See you later. Here we go. Isn't that fucking annoying? Yeah, that's really fucking annoying, right? But that seems to only be the way to be profitable on Twitch. Literally, Twitch has become a website of e-beggars. People who just sit there and instead of caring about what they're doing on Twitch, like a quality playthrough or a quality gameplay stream, it's about bullshitting for 5 minutes, then, oh, time to thank everyone who became a paid subscriber. Let's play sounds and buzzers and interrupt my content, and now it's time to shill a new product. Here it is, and then they shove the product. That's all it's become. I'm not like that. You guys know me. You guys know I've been around since before any of those motherfuckers on Twitch, right? I've been here since 2008. And I'm not going to change the quality of my content because that's how you make money on Twitch. A lot of people told me, abandon YouTube and just go to Twitch and do what everyone else does and just shill. No, because that's not me. I'm not here to sell products to you. I'm here to give you quality gameplay content that entertains you, and in return, I make a living. So I was doing that. I was at least making some money with the advertisements on Twitch TV. I'm no longer doing that. Those advertisements were not paying anything. They all just wanted you to beg for money from people. Send me a donation, subscribe to my channel, buy this piece of shit, buy this stupid fucking t-shirt, instead of talking about and playing games. And I'm not about that, all right? So that was one of the main reasons why I was leaning towards leaving Twitch to begin with. But the straw that broke the camel's back was when, about a month ago, a little bit over a month ago, I was live streaming, actually it was less than a month ago now that I think about it. I was live streaming Assassin's Creed Unity on Twitch, and I was streaming at a very high bitrate and a very high quality. I've been doing that since June, or what was it? No, since July I'd been doing it and no one had ever complained. All of a sudden a moderator came in and told me that I had to stop it. To which I was like, I don't like that, you know? I'm a guy who's here, I'm one of the few people on your website that only cares about the purity of the gameplay. And you're going to come in here and tell me that I can't put out a high-quality 1080p stream because your website wants me to lower my quality. Oh, I'm sorry. But if I were one of these people who, you know, had 10,000 viewers and had 10,000 paid subscribers, you probably wouldn't bother me, right? So already I was turned off, and I started looking at other alternatives, and I found out that I was able to record at an incredibly high quality while streaming at 30 frames per second if I did it on YouTube. And ultimately I decided, since I could still have stream chat, right? It didn't go away. Since I could now record at higher quality, that YouTube was the way to go. And admittedly, there's a lot of people who disagree with me, right? Oh, well, you should have stayed on Twitch. It's fine for you to disagree, but it's not fine for people to turn around and use that as, oh, Phil doesn't care about his fans. He just left Twitch on purpose because he doesn't care about his fans. Guess what, geniuses? If I can't keep doing this for a living, there will be no content. You understand that? I have to move to whatever the format is that's going to allow me to do the highest quality and future-proof myself. I'm not going to limit what I can do with my content because a website wants me to lower my quality so that people can just sit there and fucking shill all day. I'm going to go to where I'm welcome and I can do what I want with my content. And YouTube is the only place right now where I'm able to do that. So that's why I'm here, okay? Okay, so that's what happened, and I left Twitch, and it's funny because now here come all the rumors. Oh, Phil did it because he hates his fans. What are you talking about? Yes, I want to give you higher quality video on YouTube. I want to give you better quality streams, so I'm leaving Twitch because I hate my fans. These people are fucking nudniks, okay? The biggest one, the funniest thing, drama alert, was, did you hear that when Phil was live streaming, that Panda Lee, his girlfriend, went on his Twitch channel and closed it down? She did it. She closed his Twitch channel while he was live streaming, and now it doesn't exist anymore. What? How on earth do you even come to that fucking conclusion? She's not even watching my content. She's in the house either or out and about doing her own fucking thing. She doesn't know what I'm doing. She doesn't know how to she doesn't have my login information for Twitch. How could she shut down my Twitch TV channel? Are you fucking stupid? Yes! If you said that, you're stupid. That's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. I closed down my Twitch TV channel. You want to know why? Because when I was trying to get my stream set up on YouTube that first week, people were going there and trolling the shit out of the chat, and it's all those fucking same haters who say I hate my fans were circle jerking each other in the chat, and I said, well, guess what? Nope. You don't get to have a nice place for you to do that, and I closed it down, and they were all pissed off, so they started making up all these insane rumors about Panda Lee closed down my fucking Twitch channel. Who would even care if she did? What the fuck does that have to do with anything? It's the dumbest statement I've ever heard in my life. It makes no fucking sense. Okay? Here's another one. This is a great one. You're gonna love this one. DSP is no longer friends with anyone back in Connecticut because he unfollowed John Rambo, OJ, and Howard on Twitter. So that's it. That's the end. He'll never talk to them again, and that's the end of everything. Fuck DSP. He's a dick, and, you know, everyone hates him. What? Do you want to know what happened on... Because this is the thing. People stalk me. People fucking stalk what I do on a daily basis because they're that sick. They're actually following me and stalking me in my life on the internet and everywhere I go to find out stuff I'm doing so they can try to make shit up and fabricate stories. Do you want to know what happened with Twitter? I'll tell you. Twitter made a site change. Okay? I'd say about 2 weeks ago it was, I think. About a week and a half to 2 weeks ago. This site change, unfortunately, what happens is people that you're following... Anything that they favorite, anyone that they follow, you also get tweets in your feed from that. So let me give you a perfect example. I was following Ed Trotta. Ed Trotta is an actor who frequently appears on John Rambo Presents the Show, okay? And I'm a fan of Ed Trotta, okay? So I'm following Ed Trotta. All of a sudden, I start getting all these crazy tweets about the Film Guild and this, and I'm looking at it like, why am I getting all this shit in my feed every day? I don't like that. I like a nice streamlined feed where I get stuff that's, you know, catered to me and my content, and I'm not getting 400 fucking things there that have nothing to do with me. And I'm like, what? And I realized Twitter changed the website, and there's no way to opt out of this, that anyone that you follow, you get all their shit too. So everyone they follow, you see. So it was like I was getting 14 to 20 people's Twitter feeds all in one day, and I hated it. I was like, I don't like this at all. This is terrible. And I immediately unfollowed everyone. The only person I didn't unfollow was Leanna. And that was it. Like, for 2 weeks, I wasn't following anyone because I just couldn't take it. It was too much fucking spam. Immediately, that's it. So here's the funny thing of the hilarious drama that these people make up. So they say, oh, Phil's not friends anymore with anyone back in Connecticut because he unfollowed 3 specific people. What about the fact that I unfollowed Ed Trotta? What about the fact that I unfollowed 1 or 2 other popular YouTubers who I had been following because I stay in contact with them through private messages? What about the fact that I unfollowed Carol Ann and Carrie, the 2 girls from Athena's Wink? I unfollowed everyone. So what the fuck are you talking about? This is how stupid this shit is. But here's the problem, is that people say this shit and then someone, oh yeah, well, I corroborate that. That makes sense. And then someone makes a fake fucking email. Let me tell you something, all right? One of the people who was formerly one of my Twitch head Twitch chat moderators, okay, as soon as the website disagreement happened, decided to take it upon themselves to immediately say a bunch of negative shit about me on Twitter. 2 hours later, that person emailed me and apologized. I'm so sorry, Phil. I only did it because the haters were attacking me, and I was afraid that if I didn't side with the haters, that I was going to get bullied. So I didn't even say anything. I said, all right, maybe it's true. 2 days later, that person took my email, took a fake email from me, changed the text to say something like, oh, I hate you. How dare you? If you do something, I'll ban you, to make me look bad. Now, this is the person who had apologized to me 2 days earlier. This is the mentality of these fucking people who spread the drama on the internet. No one cares about this shit. Who cares if I close my Twitch account, if Panda Lee quits who I follow and don't follow on fucking Twitter? Who gives a flying fuck? If you're an intelligent person who is here to watch my content and have fun, entertaining gameplay, then you don't care about any of that. The problem is, somehow over the years, I attracted this sycophant group of like drama queen teens who all they care about is TMZ-like bullshit. I'm not here to propagate TMZ-like bullshit. I'm here to play games and have fun. So if that's what you're here for the wrong fucking reason. Seriously, it makes no sense. And, you know, it's so ridiculous that this is the shit. I even have more stuff here. I'm not even going to bother because there's so much stuff that people have said about me. That I was dating Panda Lee when she was only 16, when I hadn't even ever spoken to her till well after she was 18. But we have vlogs and we have chat logs of you bragging about dating a 16-year-old. Go fuck yourself. You guys are so gullible. If you believe that shit, seriously, like, were you born yesterday? You must have been. Because if you think that you see a chat log or an email that it's legit, you're dumb. I couldn't tell you how easy it is to fucking forge that stuff and how many people have forged shit in my name to make me look bad. Every website out there on the internet has a dark side Phil register to it that says nasty shit because they try to make me look bad. Right now, and I'm going to actually say this because this is very, very important, okay? There's someone impersonating me on websites, not non-for-profit websites, but websites where you can donate to support stuff. There's someone who made a fake Patreon account in my name under Darkside Phil that basically says, send me money, okay? There's people out there who are saying that they're me and they're asking for donations. I want you guys to understand something. Don't believe anything you hear until you hear it from me first. Because I would never set up a Patreon account, set up send money to this PayPal donation account. I would never do that without telling you about it first. So don't be fooled by their fucking bullshit because they want to make my life like a teen chat drama bullshit TMZ nonsense. I'm here to play games and have fun on a daily basis, period. That's the only reason I'm here, all right? I don't want to be involved with any of that negative shit. And I'll tell you right now, when this new website goes live and the new forums go live, that shit will not be tolerated. There's going to be a zero tolerance policy for people who want to come in and just spout nonsense, slander, and bullshit on this website. Because this is supposed to be a place where people who like the content are there to actively talk about it, vote on stuff, and have fun. Not for dick lickers who the only reason that they're there is to fucking shit on everyone's parade and say that everything sucks, and this sucks, and that sucks. You can go fucking circle jerk each other on your own channels and stay the fuck away from my stuff, alright? Because I'm not putting up with that shit anymore. Alright. Excuse me. And of course, right now, there's people are in the stream chat lying. Which is absolutely ridiculous. And I'm not going to put up with your shit anymore. Oh, no one ever showed a fake email. Well, I never fucking sent any of these fucking emails that people are showing. So guess what? You're a fucking misinformed idiot, or you're the liar, not me. And there's people in the stream chat right now spamming negative nonsense. That's a lie. It's a fucking blatant lie. And I'm not putting up with that shit anymore. The slander against me, right? Just because you showed a fake email doesn't prove anything, and people need to stop believing that nonsense. I've had enough of it. I really have. I'm not going to have people slandering me when all I'm here to do is play games and have fun, and I have to have teenagers fucking doing this shit. Not going to be allowed anymore. So, please forgive me for 1 second while I take out the trash in the stream chat. There we go. It's the other thing, too. I got people who actually literally, I'm not even kidding you, literally stalk where I go on the internet. The other day, I had a stomach ache. And so I couldn't actually, I didn't feel good. I felt like I was going to barf for about half the day. And I didn't do a stream, right? So while I was in bed, literally incapacitated, because if I moved a little bit more, I was afraid I was going to barf. I went on my phone. I went on Twitter. I checked Twitter. I checked on a website. I actually checked on the WWE Supercard website, which, oh, God forbid that I actually play a nice... a silly little game on my phone in my free time, right? I went to the website to see what people were chatting about. Immediately, did you know Phil's on the WWE Supercard website right now? He's not sick. What? Because I'm sick in bed? I can't check something on my phone? Are you a fucking idiot? Yes, you are. And that's what I mean. This is the kind of shit that it's hilarious. It's hilarious for me to bring it up because it's so ludicrous. But the thing is people propagate it and people believe it. Don't believe the bullshit, all right? I'm here to play games. That is it. Not for any of this nonsense around me. None of it matters. If you're here and that's what you care about, that other shit, you're here for the wrong reason. I'll be honest. Don't stick around. Only stick around if you want to see fun gameplay. That's what I'm here for. And yeah, now people are saying, wow, people are gullible. Yeah, people are fucking really fucking gullible to believe that shit. They are. It's some of the dumbest shit I've ever heard, but they believe everything because they want to. Ultimately, let's face it, in real life, what's more exciting? The truth or this crazy over-dramatized version of the truth that maybe has all this, oh, I can't believe it, but it's all high school ninny shit. I got past that stuff, you know, when I was a teenager. And the problem is a lot of the people on the internet who are involved with my content are teenagers. So they still love that shit. You know what? I'm not involved with it. And I'm not going to take on, you know, put up with this personal bullshit anymore. Seriously. Okay. So now that's it for the drama segment. I'm going to, trust me, every once in a while I'm going to talk about it again to address it because I feel like I have to. Not that I'm trying to give specific people popularity or whatever or attention, but when you see slander like that, it needs to be addressed so people understand what's going on. Okay? So now let's talk. Let's talk about games. Let's actually go back to the focus of what this podcast should be about. Gaming. And I want to talk about in the past month the games that I've played and enjoyed, the games that I've played and maybe weren't so good, the games that unfortunately I either didn't get to play a lot or didn't get to. And then what I want to do is talk to you about my plans coming up for Christmas, my year-end gameplay plans, my year-end series, and then finally what's coming in 2015. So a nice positive segment to follow that big, hearty section of bullshit, okay? All right, so here's another idiot. I'm just so tired of these idiots. Goodbye. Okay. So, now, let's talk. If you remember, the last time that I did my Hate Live podcast was right before the impending release of a ridiculous ton of games, okay? There were 2 Assassin's Creed games coming out. There were 2 Sonic games coming out. There was actually supposed to be, if I remember correctly, I think a driving game coming out that I didn't pick up. The Halo Master Chief Collection was coming out, and then the week after that, it was Gaming Overload. So let's talk about that first week. I didn't play Assassin's Creed Rogue. I decided that was going to be a game that I'm putting on the back burner, and I am going to play it eventually, but it's a game that I'm going to play when I have more downtime, probably early next year, 2015. So for those of you who wanted to see Assassin's Creed Rogue, yes, the playthrough will be coming eventually, but I'm going to put it off until I have a significant amount of time to play it next year, okay? Halo Master Chief Collection was a hot mess when it was released, and what I mean by that is the single-player campaigns apparently look great. I've been playing the Halo 2 campaign, and I never played the Halo 2 campaign before, and I like it. I'm having a ton of fun with it. It's in full 60 frames per second. It looks effing gorgeous. It really does. It looks amazing, and I'm blown away. Now, of course, the gameplay is archaic. The gameplay has a lot of little foibles and things from the early 2000s that happened with gameplay, like insta-death falls in a pit that you can't fucking see, or a wonky game mechanic, or, you know, stuff like that. But that's to be expected with a game that's as old as Halo 2 is, okay? But visually, the visuals are fucking amazing. But the problem with the Halo Master Chief Collection is it doesn't work right. The online gameplay barely works, if it works at all. They've patched the game multiple times, and the fucking thing apparently still isn't working properly. Which is ridiculous because that was the appeal of the thing. You can now buy the game that literally has every single version of the game in it and every single multiplayer, and it wasn't working. No one could make to play the game. So ultimately, I can't tell you anything really about the Halo Master Chief Collection besides I like the Halo 2 campaign, and I haven't gotten to anything else because I don't even know if the matchmaking works. I'm going to talk a little bit about attempting to play the matchmaking in a little bit when we talk about Christmas week, okay? All right. Assassin's Creed Unity. I already reviewed it. In a nutshell, Assassin's Creed Unity was a great game on paper. It had a lot of improvements when it comes to the controls. It had some streamlined cool things. It had some next-gen things like running through buildings, which you couldn't do in previous Assassin's Creeds. But because the game ran like utter shit on PlayStation 4 and was choppy as fuck, the game ended up being near unplayable and a piece of shit. I panned it in my review. Ubisoft literally realized they fucked up so bad that they came out with a public apology, and the CEO of Ubisoft offered to give you a free DLC, story-based DLC, if you bought the game, and also offered to give you a whole fucking free game if you bought the season pass. That's right, apparently you're going to get the crew for free. For me, I played through it, I reviewed it, I fucking traded that shit back in, and I don't want to play any DLCs, I don't want to do nothing. That game should never have been fucking released. Ubisoft has a big dookie stain on their fucking face right now for releasing a game that runs like shit on consoles. They should be ashamed of themselves, and they should never release a game like that again, or else people should just fucking never buy something again from them, because that was just the most disrespectful thing you could do to a consumer, is make a game next-gen console exclusive, and then it runs like shit on the next-gen console. What a bunch of fucking assholes. Okay. Sonic Boom. I played Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric on the Wii U. I was less than impressed. It's basically a very, very basic platformer with some really wonky shit, like some weird camera angles and stuff. Overall, it didn't seem like a bad game. It just didn't seem like a good game. In fact, the frame rate ran at less than 30 frames per second. That would make it the worst performing Sonic game ever created. A game where you're supposed to be running supersonic fast and you're doing it in 15 frames per second looks like shit. And it just seems like a kiddie game. It doesn't seem like it's a game that any real effort went into. And it's a shame because they're trying to reboot Sonic with this cool new cartoon and tying it in with the games. And the game doesn't seem that good. I only played it, twice? And by the time I played the second time, people already hated it. They were like, I don't want to see this anymore. So, I don't know. I have it. I would like to give it another shot. But I don't know if anyone's going to give a fuck by the time I get back to it, right? I don't know. Oh, okay, so that was the first week. Then let's talk about the next week. Far Cry 4. That's another game that I've now played through the campaign. I did complete and I have reviewed. So I'm not going to spoil too much, but I'll give you my summary. Far Cry 4 is the gameplay of Far Cry 3 slightly refined and slapped into a new game with next-gen visuals, a piss-poor story, poorly developed characters, and it's just not as good as the third game. It's a shame because if they actually put more effort into it, it could have been amazing. But they really didn't add anything new to it. All they did was tweak the engine from 3 and change the story to kind of be crappy and have things that don't even make sense. There's entire missions in this game where you're doing stuff that makes no fucking sense, and it's really just gameplay for gameplay's sake. There's an insane amount of side content in the game, none of which matters because you don't need to complete any of it to actually beat the game because the game's not even that challenging. I was not impressed. I thought it was a good game, a lot of gameplay, but I was not impressed by it. If you want the full skinny, watch my review. Okay. Dragon Age Inquisition. From what I've played, for the 15 or so hours I've played, which is only the first segment of the fucking game, if you can believe it, I really like it. The characters are great. The story's good. The graphics are amazing. The gameplay is heavily, heavily improved from the previous 2 Dragon Age games, and it seems like there's an incredible amount of content in the game. The only complaint I can really make so far is that it seems like there's only 3 classes again. There's the warrior, the mage, and the rogue. And yeah, okay, you can have an ice mage or a lightning mage. Oh, you can have a 2-handed warrior that's about DPS, or you could have a tank-like warrior. The same thing with rogue. You could have a sneaking, dual-wielding, dagger-like assassin, or you could have someone who hangs back and shoots arrows. Ultimately, I don't care what the fuck they do. It's all the same to me. It's 3 classes, and the game, I really feel, at this point, should have had more classes in it. Outside of that, I'm loving the game. I'm disappointed that it's been 3 weeks that I've owned the game, and I've only gotten, that far into it. I'm just entering the second leg of the game. So I'm very much looking forward to playing the hell out of the game in the coming weeks, okay? Pokemon Omega Ruby is a Pokemon game. It's pretty much the same as a Pokemon game. I don't even know what else to say. Like, it's plays like Pokemon, and it really just doesn't have any difference. It's the same. Now, that's not a bad thing, and I haven't played a Pokemon game before for a playthrough for YouTube, right, or on stream. So I think the people who are Pokemon fans are watching it and loving it. But it's a niche market, meaning there's not a ridiculous, overwhelming amount of people who wanted to see me play Pokemon. In fact, a lot of people said, I think this is going to be kind of boring, because Pokemon is boring and repetitive. It's turn-based style RPG gameplay. So for the people who like Pokemon, they're loving the playthrough. For the people who don't like Pokemon, they're not watching it. I personally am liking the game, and I absolutely am going to play it to completion, regardless of the fact of how many people I get on a stream or how many people are watching on YouTube. Okay? Alright, Oh, Smash Brothers on the Wii U. Smash Brothers on the Wii U is exactly as I thought it was going to be. It's the Nintendo 3DS version with better graphics, the same effing characters, no real additions besides a few extra game modes, which I was able to play within 3 hours, and I was like, why do I need to own both versions of this game? The answer is you don't. They're the same game. The 3DS version was a ripoff because all they were trying to do was cash in and get you to buy the game twice. Now, some people have argued, oh, well, I don't have a Wii U, so it's nice for me to be able to play it on the 3DS. Fine, but that's not what Nintendo was going for. Nintendo really was looking for everyone to buy the game twice. It's fun. It's a party game. I like it, but at the same time, I'm not going to invest any significant amount of time or streaming into it because there's no reason to. Okay? Alright, so what else? I'm trying to think what games I've played and stopped playing. Oh, Little Big Planet 3. by far the biggest disappointment of this whole gaming season. I mean, a game that was not even made by Media Molecule, the original game developers of Little Big Planet, and boy, can you fucking tell when you play this game. It doesn't feel like you're playing Little Big Planet. It feels like someone copied it and pasted it, similar to, say, Batman Arkham Origins, where this game engine was copied by someone and pasted, so on the surface it looks like Little Big Planet, but when you actually play the game, it doesn't really feel like it. It's unrefined, it's unpolished, tons of game bugs, tons of situations where if you're playing it in co-op, it actually makes the game incredibly more frustrating and difficult when it should make it a better and more fun experience. The game is a stinking piece of shit. Unless you're the kind of person that's just going to sit there and endlessly be creating levels for yourself, the game's a skip. The problem, guess what? Where do you guys hear this? Because you might not have heard this. Guess what the two highest games were on Black Friday this year for sales? I don't remember what one of them was. Guess what the other one was? Little Big Planet 3 was one of the two highest sellers on Black Friday. Now, do you think it's because the parents did their research and actually researched and said, oh, wow, Little Big Planet 3, it's amazing and everyone's saying it's great, so let's buy this for our kids? No, it's because parents are fucking lazy, and in the past year, everyone wanted a PS4, so they bought their kid a PS4. Now the holidays are coming up, and they're like, what's the one game that I can buy that I know is not going to be extra violent and that kids will be safe to play? Oh, Little Big Planet, that's cute, and everyone just picked it up and bought it, not realizing it's the worst game in the fucking series, and you're actually punishing your kid by buying that fucking stinky turd. Fuck parents for not doing their research, and fuck anyone who bought that fucking game and made it a bestseller, because now you just told Sony the game's great. Keep having Sumo Studios or Sumo Digital keep making Little Big Planet. No, no, no. The game sucks. Terrible. Oh, excuse me. Okay. All right, everyone. What else? I'm trying to think what else I've played. Oh, the final game, WWE 2K15. From what I've played of WWE 2K15, it's great. I played the My Career mode, even though there's a lot of grind and there's a lot of crappy jobber matches in there. The story-based content that happened, the programs and storylines they involved me in were actually quite good. And the final match that I had after 16 hours of freaking gameplay was amazing. The game really impressed me in that regard. It seems like the visuals are highly improved, although some people seem to be dead on and other people seem to look nothing like the characters they're supposed to be. Highly improved. Everything seems more fluid. A lot of the times the animations used to be choppy and not fluid. It would be like people teleporting and stuff. There's still some of that, but it looks like they fixed a lot of it. If anything, the one complaint I have about WWE 2K15 is the fucking AI still has really not been improved, especially in tag matches. They're almost impossible to win because you can't really stop people from getting pinned, or, you know, you can't stop yourself from having a pin get broken up. It's still a hot mess, but I just started the showcase mode today, which is the story-based mode outside of the My Career mode, and then I'm going to be doing simulations this coming weekend, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later in the program, so I'm not actually going to go too much into that right now. But yeah, I like the game, and I think it actually is a really good effort, and I'm very excited to try out some other stuff in it so far. So far, so good with WWE. I'll let you know more the more that I play it, okay? So that's what's been going on with gaming with me this past month. It's just been overload, and I've been so inundated with these games that I just have not had a chance to really dive into a lot of them. Now, there's a couple of games I didn't touch at all. For example, I did not touch Drive Club at all because I bought the game and then I heard there was going to be a free PS Plus. I can't speak English today. A free PS Plus version. So I returned it, and then guess what? The PS Plus version never came out because the game runs like shit. Everyone's saying that the servers can't even handle the amount of people who bought the game, so they can't do the free PS Plus version. So I'm glad I didn't keep it because I probably would have hated the game online with a terrible online experience. Kingdom Hearts HD 2.5 Remix Collection came out this past week, and I did not pick it up. I have it preloaded. I have it pre-ordered. I didn't pick it up. I am going to get it eventually. I am going to play it, just like I did with Kingdom Hearts 1.5 HD Remix. But I have to get through a few more things that I'm working on now before I can move on to it. I know there's people who are dying to see me play it. They're dying to see me play it. I will get to it. I promise you. That may be one that near the end of this year into early next year I start playing, but it's not anything I'm rushing into, okay? Especially because I know it's going to be a longer playthrough. And then there's that game Captain Toad that literally not one person has asked me to play. I pre-ordered it. Not one person has said a word about it since I mentioned that I pre-ordered it. They're like, eh. So I don't even know if I'm going to pick it up ever. Okay. So that's what's been going on with all the games over the past month. What's going to happen in the coming weeks? Let's explain. Basically, this next week is going to be my final week of standard gameplay. And what I mean by that, this next coming week, you're going to see consistent playthroughs going on, including Dragon Age Inquisition, Pokemon Omega Ruby, WWE 2K15's Showcase Mode. Those 3 games are going to be juggled around and shuffled around all week. There's the possibility that I may do one or more other things if I have time. If not, I'm not planning on starting any new huge playthroughs. So just to warn everyone. There is the impending release, supposedly, I say supposedly because it's not guaranteed, that Street Fighter 4 is supposed to get this Omega Mode free DLC that rebalances the whole game, gives everyone new special moves, and basically makes the game wild, almost like a rainbow edition of the game, which is a reference to a hacked edition of Street Fighter 2 that was prevalent in arcades back in the 1990s. But there's no release date for it, and there's all these rumors, oh, it might come out this weekend, it might come out next week, it might come out next year. No one knows. When it comes out, I'm interested in playing it, and I will be playing it. So I just want you guys to know that that is coming, but it has to come out first, okay? Alright, that's this coming week. A standard week of gameplay. There will be a Hate Live this coming week. 1 week after that, so we're talking not this Sunday, but a week from this Sunday, my parents are coming to Washington State to visit us for Christmas. They're arriving that Sunday night. They're staying all week, and they're leaving that Saturday night, the following Saturday. So Christmas week for me, half of the week I'm going to be spending personal time with my parents. The other half, I'm going to be doing a marathon of fan appreciation multiplayer with you guys. What games are going to be involved? I'll tell you right now. Smash Brothers, hopefully, both on the 3DS and the Nintendo Wii U, although I don't know how I'm going to do that because I'm almost under the impression I need to get friend codes to play it. I'm not sure, though. I'd like to get more information from those of you who've been playing the game multiplayer. Please let me know. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare on PS4, that's a no-brainer, right? If the Halo Master Chief Collection starts fucking working again and people can recommend, gee, this is the version that everyone's playing online and it works, I will play that with people on Xbox One. There's another one. What the hell is it? Oh, WWE 2K15 on the PS4, obviously. If I could get that working and we could do 4-player matches. Of course, I heard that it's terrible online again this year, which is really sad if that is the fucking case. So, what else? What else? I think there's another one, too. I think there's one that in the back of my mind I'm forgetting, like a no-brainer. Oh, Street Fighter. I'm an idiot. Street Fighter 4. Even if the Omega Mode isn't released, I'll probably go back and play Street Fighter 4. So you guys can play Street Fighter 4 with me, both on PlayStation 3 and on Xbox 360, depending. I have to set up the schedule. I have not done it yet. I've not had a chance. I'm going to wait till the end of next week, and then I'm going to set up this schedule where every day you guys will be able to play with me on these various consoles, okay? Once that's determined, I'll let you know for Christmas week exactly what it's going to be. But I'm going to forewarn everyone right now. I will forewarn you. Christmas week will not be a standard week of gameplay. There will be far less gameplay because I'm going to be doing family-related stuff with my parents and Leanna. Alright? There may be some special holiday-related vlogs coming out that week, which would be neat. You get to see us celebrating Christmas and doing some family-related stuff. That could be neat. But it's going to be a week that's primarily for celebration of the holidays with my parents, who I have not seen in several months now since I moved to Washington. Usually, Christmas week is a week where I work on my year-end series, and you've got that going, and there's a Christmas special, and that's not happening this year. This year is an exception to the rule because things have changed. Actually, I'm doing more. I used to do fan appreciation Christmas week and not do anything else. I'm kind of going back to that now, all right? So you might be saying to yourself, well, then when is the year-end series starting? The year-end series, which, by the way, I'm going to tell you right now a preview of what they're going to be. Here are the series that I am 100% decided I am going to be doing, okay? The best DLCs of 2014, because this year there was a ridiculous shit ton of DLCs. Almost every major video game release had a DLC, content, or expansion. I'm going to be doing the best DLCs of 2014 that I've played. I'm going to be doing the most disappointing games of 2014. I'm going to be doing the worst gaming trends of 2014, like I always do. Okay? I'm going to be doing the Game of the Year awards for 2014. And there may be one or two other countdowns. There will not be a traditional funniest moments countdown. I'm going to repeat that. There will not be a traditional funniest moments of 2014 countdown because the forums were lost and all those votes don't count anymore and there's nowhere for you guys to vote on the funniest moments. However, starting at near the end of this month, I will, on Twitter and possibly other places, I may ask you to submit it via email, ask for your personal picks for the funniest moments of the year, and I am going to pick my favorites out of yours and make a huge montage video of the funniest moments of 2014. So that you guys will still have that. It's just going to be one montage video rather than a countdown of 10 that I usually do, because I just can't do it that way this year with the forums being down. Okay? So, there you have it. That's how it's going to happen. Alright? And I do appreciate the fact that many of you are being patient and you're like, damn, I look forward to those year-end series. You got to be patient with me this year. Alright? Because we're going to have this week of gameplay, this week where my parents are here. Probably the week after that, I'm finishing up playthroughs and stuff, and then starting in January, that is when you're going to see the year-end series start. Okay, so the year-end series are coming, but they're coming in January. All right. Okay. I see another troll. You know, it just gets so frustrating because I'm having a great podcast and it has to be distracted by morons. So there you go. Boot to your ass. Okay. All right. Speaking of which, now let's talk about 2015, and I'm going to take a break because, my God, my voice is so exhausted right now. I've been talking for over an hour. Holy shit. What's coming in 2015? What are the changes and what new things are coming? And this is going to be some information here that people have never heard before, so get ready. It's important, okay? First of all, in 2015, I want us to focus a little bit less on tons of gameplay and a little bit more on creative projects. I've mentioned this in the past. What are the creative projects that I want to focus on? Well, number one, I do want to work on a series where I kind of do a parody of YouTube. And what I mean by that is, if you guys notice, YouTube constantly does site updates. They do tweaks here. They change things here for absolutely no reason. Sometimes they think, I guess, that it's a site improvement, and other times it just completely fucks the site over. They've been doing it since the day I started using YouTube. And I pretty much, more than anyone else on the internet, know about these changes because I upload more videos than any one individual to YouTube on a daily basis, and I'm aware of them. So what I want to do is kind of do a parody series where I go through and explain these changes and say exactly what they are in a funny manner. Now, I'm not going to spoil exactly how I'm going to do it or what. I've got props and stuff already lined up, ready to go. This is an idea I had almost a year ago, and I never got to implement it. Now I'm going to start doing that in 2015, and I think that'll be a pretty neat series for you guys, okay? Another major project that I want to work on, okay, is the return of Project 7. And I know I've been talking about this a little bit. I think right now is the best and absolute best time for me to work on this project because right now I have more resources than I ever had before. I have more filming locations. There's more stuff that I can do with it. It's a series that, by the way, is not going to be rushed. It's something that maybe there'll be a couple episodes a month, if that, maybe one episode a month. And it's going to be my original idea for Project 7 from way back when in 2009, 2010, finally realized. All right? It's going to be a one-man show, by the way. I'm going to be filming it. I'm going to be editing it. I'm going to be working on it myself. So you have to understand it's going to be something that's going to take some time, and I hope that you're going to be patient and understand that I may have to take some time off where I'm not doing double streams every single day so that I can actually work on it. But I think ultimately it's going to pay off and you guys are going to like it. Okay? Okay, what else? There are one or two other ideas that I have. I don't want to give you guys too many promises because if I give you too many promises, then I overpromise and underdeliver, and you know what I mean? So those are the rough things that I definitely want to start, and there's a couple other things that I'm thinking of doing as well, okay? But come 2015, I'm going to be honest with you guys, some things are going to have to change. Primarily what I'm thinking of doing, and I've been thinking about this for several months, I'm going to give you guys the absolute God's honest truth about what's been going on with me so you know what's happening and why I'm even considering doing a few things. Ever since I moved to the state of Washington back in June, I don't know what it was. I don't know if something triggered it or whatever. I'll be honest, I lost a chunk of my viewer base. Now, it literally happened during that transition from, June or May and June to July. During that time period when I was fluctuating and I was trying to get all my equipment set up and working and I was doing downtime games and there really wasn't a lot of games going on, there's a sharp decline in my viewership. And I kind of was expecting it. I was hoping that by now, by the hardcore gaming season with all these new games coming out, that I was going to get it back, and I haven't. Now, there's good news and bad news for everyone. The good news is I am by far not in any position where the decline in views that has stuck since June has hurt my business to the point where I can't do this for a living anymore. That's not the case whatsoever, all right? In fact, if this had happened and I hadn't moved, it wouldn't have been an issue at all. The issue right now is that I just did this big move across the country. I currently have a condo in Connecticut that I'm losing money on a monthly basis, and I currently just financed this giant move across the country, which I'm still paying off, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to pay off in the next couple of years, depending on how things go. Okay? So because of this, I've been thinking in my head of things that I want to do and things that I want to change. One of the major changes that I did institute was leaving Twitch TV. I didn't think that there really was any benefit for me live streaming on that website anymore at this point. Having all my content now in one place was one of the major changes. But coming in 2015, something that I'm seriously considering. All right, absolutely seriously considering, and this is the first time I'm publicly discussing it with you guys in a video, is joining one of these kind of programs or websites such as Patreon.com or the YouTube. They have a new program now that I have been qualified for. I can't remember what it's called. It's not crowdfunding. It's something like that, though. The YouTube support program. I don't know. I don't know the name of it. That's how little research I've done into it, all right? I want you guys to understand something. Okay, people for the past 2 years have been yelling at me saying, Phil, if you're having tough times, if you're planning for a move and you're doing all this, why don't you accept donations? People have literally been screaming at me saying, accept donations. I still am not accepting donations. I want you guys to understand that. By no means am I going to be just accepting money here and there. I told you earlier in this video, I hate people on Twitch TV who do that, who just fucking sit there and say, send me money, donate, become a subscriber, this is all I care about. That's not the case, all right? The bottom line is this. Up to this point, I've been able to make a great living, okay? A great living making fun gameplay videos and entertaining content and vlogs for you guys based off of the ad revenue that they bring in and the fact that I'm partnered with Machinima. Due to this decline in my views that happened during the summer and never came shot back after I moved, for whatever reason, I don't know what it was, okay? I have to do something. Again, if I didn't have this debt from the move and I didn't have this condo stuck in Connecticut, this wouldn't be a concern. But right now, I don't want to put myself in a position where I may end up having this giant lump of debt for a long-ass time because I got a dip in views, all right? And I'm going to be honest, it's none of this drama and this shit that's going on around me that I'm trying to ignore is helping. In fact, I'm really not getting much of a new viewer base at all. Most people who see me for the first time just see a bunch of negative shit. And they say, I don't want to be a part of Phil's content because if I even try to tweet to him, I'll get attacked on Twitter. If I try to leave a comment on his video, I'll get nasty responses. I don't understand because I watch Phil's content and I enjoy it, but it seems like there's all this negativity and I don't want to be a part of that. So quite honestly, really, it's my hardcore fan base that's keeping me afloat right now. The people who've been around for a long time and are very dedicated to me. And if you are a newcomer, my God, do I fucking respect you because you guys have a lot of self-control and self-patience and determination to be able to watch my content and follow me and interact with me with all the negativity and shit that these people throw at me. I'm flabbergasted because all I want to do is sit here and play fucking games, right? So the bottom line is this. I need to do something. And some people might say, okay, so how does stuff work with Patreon, right? How does it work? I don't understand. Is it a donation website or what? No, the way that Patreon works, just so you guys understand, it's a program. It's a website. I would sign up for it, okay? And what would happen is I would have an account on there, and I would have a contract with you. We would agree mutually on basically it would kind of be like a subscription-based program. You dedicate a certain amount of money a month, or I think it's like a flat amount. I don't know. I haven't even looked into it yet, but I have to figure it out. In exchange for that money, I give you content. It could just be that I have a new series that I start up for Patreon members that you guys get to see first before everyone else gets to see it by a few days. And you get to see that extra if you become a Patreon member. It could be that I do once a month an exclusive stream of 2 hours where I shoot the shit with Patreon members who are my Patreons, and we just talk and I do open Q&A and we have a lot of fun with it. It could be, this is another idea that I'm thinking of, that maybe there's a game that you may really want to see me play. Patreon members might want to really see me play that normally I wouldn't have played. Would I have dropped everything in the month of December to play... I don't know. I'm trying to think of a game that I never played before. Spyro. Okay? No. But maybe I'll take one stream out, 2 streams out a month where those will be Patreon exclusive content where you get to see that, and then of course everyone else gets to see it later, but at least it makes sense for me to take time out for a game that maybe not a lot of people want to see, but if Patreon members want to see it, I can take time out to do it. That's the kind of thing that Patreon is. It's an agreement. It's a two-way street. It's not just, I throw you money and you do whatever you want with it. No, it's I give you a set amount in exchange for exclusive content. And that's a two-way street, similar to how I was part of the Twitch TV subscription program. It was a two-way street, and I liked that. I liked that it was a two-way thing. Now, when I was on Twitch, a lot of people said they wanted to donate, but they didn't watch my Twitch live streams, therefore they didn't care about that and they wouldn't become a paid subscriber. Here at Patreon, you're going to get to figure out what it is that you want to get from me as a give and take. Okay? So what this is going to be, if this works, right? And if we get, let's say we get 100 people who do it a month, and there's a consistent amount on a monthly basis, that means that that's consistent income that I'll be getting that's to the side of YouTube, to the side of my streaming, and it's cool, fun content that exclusively I can do ahead for those people, and then eventually it will get released for everyone, all right? Now, some people already are complaining and saying, it's funny because I just tossed this out on Twitter last night for the very first time. Why would you put your content behind a pay window? Well, I understand that other people do it, but why do you have to do it, all right? I can answer these questions directly. Number one, I'm not putting any content behind a pay window. I don't ever want to put out something that only people who pay can see. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that it's not your fault if you're in a life situation where you don't have money that you could donate to someone who you've been watching for free for years on the internet. That's bullshit. I completely disagree with that. But for people who can support me to get maybe a little bit of advanced access, I think that might make more sense. What if, for example, Project 7, right? I'm doing Project 7, and I finished the episode. For Patreon members, you get it 3 days ahead of time. 3 exclusive days where only Patreon members can watch the episode, and then boom, it goes live for everyone on YouTube afterwards. So there you go. The super fans can see it right away, and everyone else, or those who can't afford to be a Patreon, can fucking see it afterwards, right? It makes sense. And I'm not, trying to rationalize it. For me, for my morals and what I stand for, it makes sense. And it will allow me to focus on my content, to do what I want to do, and not every 5 seconds say, oh, sorry guys, it's been 5 minutes, hold on a second, here we go. Buy DSP cereal, give me your money, buy DSP cereal, new Mr. Fuck It is on the market, you can get the Mr. Fuck It t-shirt right now, send me $29.95. Okay, now I can finally get back to gameplay because 2 people bought the shirt. And honestly, that's what people have been doing, and that's how people have been making a living on YouTube and Twitch. This is what they're doing. I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be like that. But I'm going to need some kind of a supplemental thing with what's happened with my viewership this year since the move. And that's what I'm thinking of doing. That's the rough idea that I'm having, okay? And here's the thing, and ultimately, there's going to be people who I can't please. No matter what I do, people are going to criticize me and say, now Phil's e-begging and Phil's taking your money. Listen. Here's my philosophy. As long as the people who are willing to do the Patreon thing feel like they're getting a good amount of value out of it, right? And as long as no one feels like they're getting cheated, right? And the fact that, I'm not abusing it and mentioning it every 20 fucking seconds and it's ruining all of my content. And the fact that the content that I put behind that Patreon pay window is not only pay only, that you can eventually see it for free, I'm okay with it. I would hate if I did become like all these other people. I don't want to become like all those other people, but I have to do something, right? Up to now, I've been able to make a great living off of just the ad revenue and the views. It's looking like a little bit of difficulty with that right now, and I need to find a way to supplement it, all right? And that's why I'm considering doing Patreon in 2015. The other thing, of course, that people are going to say, well, Phil, a lot of huge YouTubers do it, and a lot of people on Twitch do it, but you don't do it, and I don't want you to do it. Well, enough is enough, and I say, to that, I argue that it's a bullshit argument. Because why is it that other people who are very much allowed to make a living doing stuff like this get all these other avenues that they can sell merchandise, and they can be on Patreon, and they can ask for your donations every 5 seconds, and they can say, oh, subscriber, ding, 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 and they don't get shit, but you have to give me shit. And the answer is because it's not you. It's not you, the common viewer. It's those stupid drama queen bitches who are just hate my guts. They hate the fact that there's a strong-willed male individual who's not great at games, who's been able to make a living doing this, who stuck up for himself, who said fuck you to the people who pissed him off over the years and mistreated him. They don't like me because of that. They'd rather watch the big YouTuber who rakes in tons of dough and is only about the money because at least they feel that that's some unattainable goal. They all feel that they could do what I do. Well, guess what? If you know so much better than me and you could do what I do, why the fuck didn't you do it? Right? So get the fuck off my dick. If I'm going to use Patreon, I'll use it. And I don't care if anyone likes it or not, because I know that I have a dedicated fan base that are going to be there to support me no matter what, all right? If people would just stop listening to the bullshit white noise of the children and the drama queen teens and only focus on my gameplay content, you would notice that in the past month, all the content that I've put out has been great. The gameplay, the quality of the visuals, everything has been an amazing month for gaming. But people just want to talk about all the drama instead of the gameplay. That's what it has to be, a return to the roots, or this whole thing's going to go away. And the bottom line is this: you can either have Phil who's focused on gameplay and every once in a while talks about Patreon, or you can have no Phil at all, no content. And what's going to happen when Phil doesn't exist on the internet anymore and all these drama queens have to find something else to do with their lives? They're all going to fucking go drink the Kool-Aid and jump off a cliff, I think. All right, so that's the first time I've ever mentioned it. I'm going to mull over in my head what kind of a thing I should do with Patreon. Understand, I have not done it yet. I already said earlier in this stream, people are impersonating me on Patreon. Don't fall for it. That's not me, okay? So definitely consider it. And send me your ideas, whether it's to @TheyCallMeDSP, whether it's an email to darksidephil@hotmail.com. Please give me your ideas of if you were considered to become a Patreon of mine, what kind of content is it that you would like to see? Maybe an exclusive gameplay that normally I wouldn't do, that you could get exclusive access to first? Would it be a Patreon-only stream that maybe I release later on for everyone else? Would it be, timed content like I just said, Project 7 sneak preview? What would you like to see? Give me some ideas and we'll talk it out and we'll figure this out come 2015, okay? Excuse me. I'm going to take a break because I just talked for an insanely long amount of time and my throat is now killing me. I need to rest it a little bit. We're going to come back after a few minutes and we're going to talk about gaming news and we're going to talk about wrestling news. There is a ton of stuff to talk about in both the gaming and wrestling news world, and then we're going to try to do a short Q&A session at the end of the show, all right? Short break, everyone. If you're watching this on stream, stick around. There's going to be a short break. No commercials, but I need to rest my voice. If you're watching this on YouTube, just jump to the annotation. I'm sorry, the link, a timestamp, excuse me. It's been so long since I did one of these shows, I can't even remember the name of it. Look at the timestamp in the description of the video. Give it a click. You'll jump right ahead past the commercial break, and we'll pick it up from there. Thanks, everyone. I'll be right back with more Hate Live. Okay, everyone, welcome back to Hate Live, second half, and it's not going to be as long as the first half, I promise. We've got gaming news, we've got wrestling news, I've got an announcement about this Sunday, and then we're going to do a brief Q&A with the stream chat. About a half an hour, roughly. So let's get right to it with gaming news for this week, ladies and gentlemen. The very first story, which is the biggest bombshell in my opinion when it comes to gaming, was one that was not even supposed to be released. It was actually, oops, it leaked by accident when someone apparently who works for Capcom accidentally uploaded the trailer for Street Fighter V to Capcom's official YouTube page. Oops. What a gaffe, huh? What a goof up that was. So the reason why this was such a big announcement and such controversy around it wasn't because the game was being released. In fact, Capcom had already talked a few months ago about the fact that they were working on Street Fighter V, but the fact that the game is going to be a PlayStation 4 and PC exclusive. The game is not coming to any other console, including no consoles of Microsoft whatsoever, not Xbox 360 or Xbox One. And pretty wild because, you know, up to now, Street Fighter 4, if you remember, had been incredibly popular both on the Xbox 360 and on the PlayStation 3. And to say that, oh wow, it's only going to be on one console over the other was kind of a huge bombshell. Like, holy shit, really? Come to find out, we did a little bit more research this past week, and it was determined that Sony is actually financing the project in part. So kind of similar to how Bayonetta 2 ended up being a Wii U exclusive. Yeah, that's why Street Fighter V is going to be on PS4 only, because Sony tossed them a ton of money. It's almost like a jab at Microsoft, because if you remember, last year Microsoft had Killer Instinct, which was the Xbox One exclusive fighting game that never made it to PS4, and now it's kind of vice versa. So to go in hand with this announcement, also this week it was announced that Ultra Street Fighter 4 is going to be released for PS4, and it's going to be like a better graphical port of the game. Now, is there any reason for anyone to buy Street Fighter 4 again at this point on PS4? I don't think so. I mean, the game already runs at 60 frames per second on PS3 and Xbox 360, so unless you're looking for this utmost top-level graphics, I don't think you're going to get anything new out of rebuying it for PlayStation 4. But I already talked about my thoughts on Street Fighter V being announced earlier this week in a pre-stream, but I'll say it again. I could very well be in the boat of these negative Nancys who everything that Capcom does they have to criticize at this point. Ever since Resident Evil 6 came out and they said it plays too much like an action game, it's not survival horror. Street Fighter Cross Tekken came out and it was, oh, that game's just nickel and diming the consumer. It's ridiculous because you have to buy all these DLC characters that are already on the disc. Asura's Wrath came out, oh, you can't even get the real ending of the game unless you buy a DLC thing that's already on the disc. Dragon's Dogma came out and it's DLC already on the disc. You see the pattern that I'm going with here, and the fact that Devil May Cry was recently rebooted and no one really liked it. The fact that Capcom announced they're not doing any new games with Mega Man. There's tons of reasons to hate Capcom. But I grew up at an era when Capcom was great, when they were one of the go-to game developers. You knew that whatever Capcom put out, whether it was a fighting game, a platforming game, an action game, a shooting game, it was going to be gold. RPG, Breath of Fire, shit, they made everything. And I think down in my heart of hearts, whatever the hell that means, I have this ingrained feeling in me that Capcom can do good with this game. After Street Fighter 4, and I'll be honest, Street Fighter 4 I had a love-hate relationship with. Street Fighter 4 Vanilla, I did not like that much at first because I thought the controls were too easy for noobs to basically learn how to mash out Dragon Punch and stuff like that. After a while, it got to a level where I thought it was unbalanced, but I liked it at a tournament level. Then they put 5,000 fucking expansions out for the thing that totally just made me not care about it anymore. I think there was Street Fighter V with the design, by the way. If you haven't seen the trailer yet, it looks more realistic. It looks similar to Street Fighter 4, but it's less anime-ish cartoony. It looks more like, I'll be honest, like a 3D version of the graphics from Street Fighter 2. That's what it looks like they're going for in Street Fighter 4, and that's what I like. I want that more realistic, you know, Smash Mouth fighting style that was in Street Fighter 2, and I hope that that's what we're going to get. Remains to be seen. But I'm excited. No news yet on when it's coming out or anything, but just the announcement itself is awesome news, and I'm very happy about it. Witcher 3 has again been delayed, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't heard, the game was supposed to be released in February of 2015 after already being delayed from earlier this year. Well, the game's now being delayed again until May of 2015, and I think it's CD Projekt is the name of the company that's making it. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong, but they basically came out and said, listen, we messed up. We kept giving you release dates that were way too early. That's our fault. We were overzealous. We really want this game to be all it can be. We want this game to shine and be awesome. So we're pushing it till May. May is when it's coming out. We hope you'll be patient and you'll check out our game. On the one hand, okay, I say, wow, that's awesome. And the reason I say that is because I'd rather have them take their time, polish the game, and have it be amazing. Unlike Assassin's Creed Unity that ran like shit on next-gen consoles. What a joke, right? But giving them the benefit of the doubt, now that this game has been delayed 2 major times, that game better be good. You know what I'm saying? When I play that game, it better have amazing graphics, not a lot of screen tearing, the frame rate better be awesome, it better have a ton of content, and it better be fucking good. I will give you the benefit of the doubt. You can make me wait 1.5 years extra for a game to come out, but the game better be good when it comes out. So, we'll see. Witcher 2 was really good. It was just fucking difficult as shit on PC until they patched the shit out of it and made it playable for most people. We'll see how Witcher 3 turns out. We have another controversial story. Apparently, there was going to be this big announcement at this Sony event that happened this past week, right? Oh my god, did you hear? Final Fantasy VII is coming to PlayStation 4. And people started flipping out. Oh my god, Final Fantasy VII. I love that game. That's the RPG I grew up with. That's the one that got everyone in the United States hooked on RPGs. And it's coming to PlayStation 4. Can you imagine what a next-gen version of Final Fantasy VII would look like on the PlayStation 4? It's next-gen graphics, super awesome 1080p detail, 60 frames per second, huge high detail thing, all this new added content. It's going to be great. Gotcha. Because guess what? It's just a stupid port of the PC version from the early 2000s. It looks like shit. You know how I know? I owned the PC version of Final Fantasy VII. It's bad. It runs at like 480p. It's blocky. It's better than the PlayStation 1 version of the game. But it's blocky as shit, and it looks terrible compared to modern games. There is no reason to buy that game on PS4. Like, this is just ridiculous. Like, everyone flipped out, and then they're like, oh, what a fucking get me excited, and then ridiculous, right? But, you know, it is what it is. They fooled everyone, and I don't think anyone's going to buy that shit on PS4. And then the last gaming news this week is, if you can believe it, right? Remember a few weeks ago, well, it's not a few weeks ago at this point, it's probably about almost 2 months ago, we talked a little bit about Gamergate. We talked about how I really felt that the whole Gamergate movement and these group of people who want people to be aware that gaming media is not legit and that they're biased and that they will say shit and have agendas and push certain games and pan other games for their own personal gain. That there was even the possibility of, you know, collusion, and that the gaming media will sleep with people and do all kinds of shit and give illegitimate review scores to games. Remember that whole issue? And I told you how there was this particular feminist named Anita Sarkeesian who had literally taken the debate about Gamergate and instead twisted the whole issue about, oh, I'm being attacked and getting death threats, so Gamergate's about me. And she turned it literally into a publicity stunt for her. You remember that, right? Well, ladies and gentlemen, Anita Sarkeesian is struck again. Apparently, during the course of when Mirror's Edge 1 was released, at some point, Anita had made a statement that she felt that Mirror's Edge 1 really wasn't a game that was catered for women gamers, that the control scheme of the game didn't adapt or wasn't well configured for females, and that, I know this makes no fucking logical sense to anyone with a brain in their head, but apparently she doesn't have one, or at least she's trying to fool dumb sheep people, and she's saying that Mirror's Edge 1 didn't play like a game that was easy for women to play. So apparently there are rumors, like real rumors, that the developers of Mirror's Edge 2 are working with Anita Sarkeesian to make the game easier for female gamers. What? What? Huh? Has the whole fucking world lost their minds? Like, what? A A girl who, if you look at her track history, everything she's done is for her own personal fucking game. She literally skews every issue to a feminist agenda to push her own popularity, to make her become money and rich and famous. You're going to have her work on your fucking game because she complained about the controls of the first game? How about you tell her to lick a monkey's dick and you fucking make a great game? And don't worry about that stupid bitch. Like, what the fuck? If that game comes out and she actually had any kind of influence on it, I don't think anyone should fucking buy it. We should all pan that shit. We should all take the disc, wipe our asses with it, and then mail it to Anita Sarkeesian so she has a pile of shitty discs at her fucking front door. Bitch. Okay, ruin my Mirror's Edge, will you? Fuck you. Alright, now let's finally talk about the last portion. Of the news this week. And that is wrestling news. Okay, wrestling news. A lot of things have come out in the realm of wrestling news. And I know that, unfortunately, I have not had Smart Guys. I have not done anything really wrestling related recently besides play WWE 2K15, so I haven't had a chance to really publicly address anything. I will do so as of right now. So a few things happened, okay? First of all, CM Punk, who basically walked out on the WWE earlier this year after the Royal Rumble and subsequently disappeared from WWE TV. We had no idea what had happened between him and WWE. Went on a podcast with his good friend Colt Cabana, who was another pro wrestler who pretty much was mistreated by the WWE, never got off the ground out of developmental territory. And he basically finally laid down the law and explained what happened and why he left WWE. And his story was not a fucking pretty one whatsoever. Basically explaining that he was completely mistreated, that he was sick as a dog, on the road on multiple kinds of antibiotics, complaining to doctors that the antibiotics weren't taking care of him, and they basically said there's nothing we can do. He was working his dates. He literally shat himself on SmackDown one night in the ring because he was so sick and taking so many medications that his bowels were like fucking liquid. Eventually, during the Royal Rumble, for months he had been complaining that there was this big purple lump on his back, and one of the WWE doctors, right, looked at it and said, oh, don't worry about it, it's just like a fatty deposit or whatever. And he was like, well, I don't care what it is, just cut it out of me. It's a giant fucking lump. Obviously there's something wrong there. No matter what it is, cut it out of me and I'll probably feel better. And the doctor refused. No, I'm not going to do that. Just keep taking your antibiotics. So finally, after the Royal Rumble, when CM Punk decided to walk out on the WWE, he, after about, a few weeks, went to an independent doctor. Okay? Independent doctor. And goes to the doctor and says, I need to know what the hell this purple lump is. And the doctor says, this is disgusting. I have to cut this open immediately and see what it is. He cuts it open. The thing is so pressurized with infection and pus that it squirts onto the fucking ceiling. The guy says, you have a high-grade staph infection. You should be dead. If you weren't like an incredibly well, kept physical being who works out all the time and eats healthy, you'd be dead right now. Because this is incredibly bad for you, and you should not have it on your body for any more than a day, let alone months at a time that this doctor was telling you to just take antibiotics. So basically, CM Punk almost died. And he walked out on the WWE. Not only that, there were other things, like, for example, he had been wrestling a program with Ryback, who he basically called the dumbest asshole in the ring ever. He's just a big bag of fucking bricks, a big roided idiot who doesn't know how to wrestle and doesn't care to learn the business. He just wants to make a paycheck. And basically said that he had wrestled Ryback in a standard televised match, and Ryback broke his fucking ribs because he's such a fucking green idiot, and that after that he was hurt for weeks on end, and again, WWE, you got to keep wrestling because you're in the top billing, right? You're in the top program. And so all this he basically revealed all this for the very first time on the Colt Cabana podcast. And then finally said, if you can believe it, the week that I was going to marry AJ, the day of my wedding, I got a letter in the mail saying that I had been released from WWE, fired because breach of contract. And he's like, what great timing by WWE. They knew when his wedding was. He had told them ahead of time, and they did it on purpose to be fucking, Vince McMahon, stick it to him because you walked out on Vince, so Vince gets you with the little shank in your ass, right? So all this kind of came to light. And basically CM Punk painted Vince and Triple H as a bunch of selfish, uncaring, horrendous business people who only care about their business and not about the talent, which I think most people agree with. If you actually listen to behind-the-scenes accounts from people in the WWE, they've always said that's how it always is, okay? Which prompted Vince McMahon later on, a week later, to go on a Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast and say that, oh, that's, poor Punk. I actually like Punk as a guy. It's a shame that he had all these problems and that these things didn't get taken care of, but it happens in the business. And we didn't mail him that termination notice timed with his wedding. It was complete coincidence and bad luck that happened. Basically saying he was responsible for absolutely nothing and that he loves CM Punk. Kissing CM Punk's ass left and right, okay? In addition to all of this, Punk said that he's flabbergasted that he is featured in this game. Because he said, I specifically, walked out on the WWE on bad terms. They fired me, and then they had the balls to put me in this game, WWE 2K15, in a featured rivalry with John Cena. He's like, I want nothing to do with WWE ever again. I'm never going back. I never want to go back for the Hall of Fame. Fuck them. I want nothing to fucking do with them. I'm done with them for life. I'm never going back. There's going to be no reconciliation in the future. Why would they think to put me in this game? Like, are you stupid? So I don't know. Pretty dumb, if that is the truth. Of course, we can only go by hearsay, and that's what CM Punk says, right? So then all of a sudden, huge bombshell this past week. There was a UFC pay-per-view going on. And right after that, they teased that, oh, there's going to be this groundbreaking, earth-rattling announcement coming after our very first fight tonight. You've got to be here for it. After the first fight, Joe Rogan walks out with all people with CM Punk. CM Punk announces, I am joining the UFC. I am taking this absolutely seriously. I am done with pro wrestling. I want to be an MMA fighter from now on. I've done years of training in I didn't forget if it was Taekwondo or Jiu-Jitsu. Jiu-Jitsu. He said he trained with the Gracies. And that, he was ready. He was going to take it seriously. He didn't know if he was going to enter welterweight or, I don't know if it's light heavyweight or middleweight. Whatever the weight classes are, I don't know. Because I'm not familiar with UFC. I haven't watched it in 100 years. But he was not sure what weight class he was entering at. But he was going to train seriously. And everyone's like, whoa! So CM Punk is done with pro wrestling. He's going to fight for real. Now, is this going to be a situation like Brock Lesnar, where Brock left pro wrestling, went to UFC, ended up becoming the freaking biggest thing ever, the biggest draw they ever had in a champion? So it's pretty crazy. And in addition to that, even more zany news. Even more fucking zany news out of nowhere. So guess who else is an MMA fighter who's been training to become a serious MMA fighter? The green fucking Power Ranger. Yes, Tommy. Remember Tommy from the Power Rangers of the 1990s? He was the Green Ranger, then he was the White Ranger. Later on, he was a different Ranger. He's fucking an MMA fighter now. He wants to fight CM Punk in his debut fight. What the fuck? That would be great. So if CM Punk, he'll come out the Cult of Personality, and fucking Tommy from Power Rangers comes out to fucking go Power Rangers, and they're beating the shit out of each other in the octagon. It's gonna be pretty funny. At the least, it'll be an oddity and a funny fucking thing. At the most, how awesome would it be if these two guys end up being like amazing fucking MMA fighters and they like really fight hard and do amazing? I mean, it could be pretty wild, right? So, I'm excited. I hope that it turns out well. Am I interested in UFC any more now than I was before? Not really. Like, UFC I liked in the 90s, and then when they added all those ridiculous fucking rules to it, I didn't really like it that much. I played the UFC game earlier this year, and I actually liked it a lot, but it's not something that I'm going to get into. All the hardcore, UFC, MMA, the people that get into that shit so hardcore, Bellator and all that, I'm not going to be getting into that anytime soon, but it is a notable story, and I would actually like to hear how CM Punk actually does in regards to that. So, all right, so that is it for everything I have to talk about. I'm going to take about 10 minutes now for Q&A live here on the stream chat. Unfortunately, the stream chat's probably about a minute delayed, so I'm going to have to kill time until I finally start getting some questions for Q&A. Okay. So yeah, if you guys could, in the stream chat, post up a few questions that you would like me to possibly answer. Something based off of what I talked about on the podcast tonight, perhaps, all right? So, I'll play the music. Dun, 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 dun. I'm waiting for someone to ask a question in the chat, but there's chat delay, so I must wait. Where the fuck are the questions? Boom, boom. And there's still none, so now we go. Do, 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 do. There's still no questions. I'm still waiting. Someone says Tommy will use his flute. Tommy will pull out the dagger flute Wait, a fucking Zord comes in? No, okay. Yes. Splinter Craig asks, what are my feelings on Killer Instinct and how the game released with pricing, etc.? I was fine with the way Killer Instinct came out last year. It was $20 for, what, 8 fighters and full multiplayer. And I know that later on they released the DLC characters and stuff. I haven't played the DLC characters for this season, so I can't really speak to it. It was interesting. $20 for 8 fighters, and later on you get more features, right? I don't know if they were successful. I don't have those sales figures. I was okay with it, but then again, a lot of people would rather just have the whole game at once. You know what I mean? Like, I want all 20 fighters at once so we can play the game and have it balanced rather than play with 8 and then play with 2 and then 2. So I don't know. Let's see here. Am I ever going to try DDP yoga? Great question. Well, here's the thing. This is the good news, is that my back's fine. And I know that that's like a crazy thing for me to say after all the years that you guys have heard me complain about my back and say, wow, my back's fucked up or whatever. My back's been fine since I moved to Washington, with a few exceptions. There are a few days when I like go outside and I'll be out for the day with Leanna and we're carrying heavy bags and shit, and I come home and I'm like, oh, fuck, my back just shot and I got shooting pain in my leg. But usually after a night of relaxation, it's back to normal. I really don't have any lingering pain anymore in my back. So I don't really think I have a need to do the yoga. Now, I could do the yoga, but I would have to clear out a significant amount of floor space to do it. And right now, we actually kind of filled up all of our floor space. I couldn't fit a yoga mat in my office. I couldn't fit it in the living room right now. We kind of, unfortunately, filled everything up. So right now, it's not something that I'm considering it. But if I ever did need to use it, I do have it. Okay. Let's see. Someone says, how do I feel about, Silent Warrior says, how do I feel about Tekken 7's newest character being Asia and Europe exclusive because of the complaints to the character's design? The first I've heard of it. So I haven't seen the character, so I can't really comment on what the character's design is. I think that having a character that's country exclusive is incredibly stupid to begin with. And, yeah, it's really dumb. How about that? Kyoko Kirigiri, what a name, asks, what is the status of the forums? The status of the forums is that they don't exist. There are forums, but they've not been programmed. I need to program them. I don't have time to program them right now because I'm in the middle of a ton of work. And, I got my parents visiting soon. So I'm hoping that by next year we have them up and running. But right now I can't get them up and running because I'm too busy. It's that simple. Let's see. Oh, here you go. What did I think about the Game of the Year awards? I didn't watch the Game of the Year awards. I'm going to be honest with everyone. There were a few years there where I was following when they were called the Spike TV Game of the Year awards, and they were broadcast live on Spike TV. And then last year, they got demoted to the point where they weren't even on TV. You had to watch it on the internet. And last year's show was so appallingly fucking unprofessional and terrible that I said I would never watch it again. And I stand by it. After last year being so fucking bad, I will never ever watch that show again. I already heard people complaining that the rewards are ridiculous. Like, the best first-person shooter of the year is Far Cry 4, and it's like, well, is that just because that's the last one you played, or is it because you think it's actually better than Advanced Warfare? It's better than Wolfenstein, because a lot of people agree that maybe Wolfenstein was better, or Advanced Warfare is a better multiplayer game. I don't know. I didn't watch it. And the bottom line is, I don't care anymore about that stupid show. Like I said, I was so disappointed last year at how bad it was, and everyone treating it like it's a professional award show needs to stop, because it's not. It's not like the Oscars where there's an official academy of people who are voting on these games to be the best of the year. It's a bunch of promotional idiots behind the scenes who finance this thing for their own promotional gain. It's basically a means to advertise games. That's all it is, and make money. So I'm not going to be paying attention to that shit anymore. What else? Trying to find some more here. Will I be checking out Guilty Gear XRD on the PS4? No, I don't play Guilty Gear. I've said this about 4 million times. Guilty Gear doesn't interest me. I never liked Guilty Gear. I don't like the gameplay style. I don't like the character design. I don't like Guilty Gear at all. I'm not playing Guilty Gear. No, 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 no. Whew. Okay. Wow. All right. There's such a dumb question. I'm actually going to address it. Ready? This question is, do you have any idea how frustrating it is that you promise to do game playthroughs, then you say that you're too busy as an excuse and don't do them, and then you make trivial vlogs on food? You know what? Fair enough point. So here's what I'm going to do. From now on, as you guys know, I make one vlog a week, usually of DSP Tries It. That lasts about 5 minutes. So what I'm going to do is any playthroughs that I promised to do and don't have time to do, I'll now be playing for 5 minutes a week from now on. Just for that one person, because their question was so sensical and logical. There you go. That was stupid. Let's see, what else? Getting very, oh, well, I tried the Dragon Age Inquisition multiplayer. I don't even know if I gotta get through Dragon Age Inquisition single player. You know what I mean? I know that there is multiplayer in the game, supposedly co-op with other people over the internet. I don't have a clue how it works, and I don't even think with how long the game is and all the stuff I'm involved with right now that I'm even gonna have an opportunity to try it out. I think I need to get through the game myself, so. It's funny that all these games that are supposedly like Far Cry 4 now has drop-in, drop-out co-op. Dragon Age Inquisition has co-op. I thought these were single-player games. You know what I mean? And now they're adding that element, and it's nice, but at the same time, is it something that I should bother with? I don't know. A lot of people are asking me what was my favorite game this year. I'm not going to answer that now because I am going to do Game of the Year awards. Anyone else? I'm going to take 2 more questions. 2 more questions for this show, and then we're going to end it, because it's been a long fucking show. Will I do a Fallout New Vegas second playthrough eventually during downtime? I mean, is it something I'd like to do? Sure. It's an incredibly fucking long game, and considering what happened with the Oblivion playthrough, I don't think it's going to see a very much the light of day, quite honestly. You know, Fallout 3 took a long time to get through. By the time I finished it, not many people cared. Oblivion, I only played a few times. People didn't even care anymore, so I really don't know about New Vegas at this point. I would love to play a new fucking Fallout game. Where's Fallout 4? Please, where is it? I want it. I have not seen Uncharted 4 gameplay. Some people are asking what do I think of Uncharted 4 gameplay. I didn't see it. I've been too busy. I'm too busy. I don't have time to sit around and watch this stuff, unfortunately. Didn't see the Star Wars 7 trailer. I know some people might say that. Wow, you didn't see it yet? Nope. I'm not a trailer guy. I'm really not. Like, I hear stuff's coming out. Star Wars 7, I'll see it. I don't need to see a trailer. I'll see it. It'll either suck or it'll be good. I'll see it. I don't need to fucking spoil myself. Guardians of the Galaxy, I shit you not. I just watched the movie this week. I got it on Blu-ray because I heard it was good. A lot of people said it was good, and it was good. I didn't see a piece of it before I watched it on Blu-ray. I didn't see a trailer, nothing. So I had no idea what to expect, and I liked it. All right, one last question. Let's find a good one. All right, this one is from Union, and he says, what is your favorite Sonic game? And the answer is Sonic the Hedgehog 2. By far was my favorite Sonic game. I don't know why. I think probably because that was the one that came with my Sega Genesis when I bought it, and I played the living shit out of it. I thought it was miles ahead of Sonic 1. It had co-op aspect to it, a lot of secrets. I really like Sonic 2. That's my favorite of all time. My number 2 would be Sonic Adventure, because I actually did like Sonic Adventure Part 1 on the Dreamcast. Okay. All right, everyone. That is it. I want to thank you guys for being very patient on a very long-winded episode of Hate Live. There was tons of information to relay to you guys. Please spread the word. I I talked about so much new information, including what games I'm playing, how I'm spending my holidays, what's going on with the year-end series, Patreon, new series coming next year. I covered a ton of stuff. Please let people know that I did, because so many people don't realize there's a focal place to go for this stuff, and this episode is so much information. People definitely need to check it out, okay? Thanks, everyone, whether you're live on stream right now or if you watch this on YouTube afterwards. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. I will see you next week for Hate Live, where we're going to do our special holiday spectacular. We're going to be talking all about Christmas stuff. It's going to be great. I'll probably be mentioning some of my favorite Christmas movies, Christmas traditions, tell you what we're doing here for Christmas. It's going to be all holiday-filled and fueled. I'm going to be festive. I hope that you'll be here next week for it. Thanks, everyone, for a great episode of Hate Live. I'm DSP signing off. See you next week.